Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I, as always, am Grestar, and this is another reaction to a death battle, Lex Luthor versus Dr. Doom. So of course, make sure to click on the link in the description below to go to the official release first. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Watch that there, then come back here and we'll watch it together. A few things before we get started. One, I just woke up after a terrible night, so just insomnia, pretty heavy. I apologize if that becomes evident at any point. But two, you might be wondering, why is my background slightly different? Why is there a random fan back there? Why is there a couch pulled up right behind me? Well, my room flooded a little bit, so I've been dealing with that the past few days, and I'm still dealing with it, hence the fan and stuff. I at least turned off the dehumidifier so it wouldn't be as loud for the microphone, but yeah, now you know. And third, someone spoiled this fight for me as well. And unlike the last person who spoiled it, this person did so, like, blatantly, like, intentionally, unrepentantly. And so, first, their comments are no longer viewable on my channel. They have, for all intents and purposes, been banned from making comments because they shouldn't have been a douche. Basically, like, they gave the reasons as this battle was, like, it was obvious, the outcome was obvious, they said, and that it was a waste of a death battle episode. So here's something that everyone needs to know. You're not the only one who matters. Like, if the outcome was obvious to you, well done, you're good at predicting things. If you thought this death battle was a waste of an episode, I'm sorry, but guess what? Other people like this episode. Other people didn't think the outcome was obvious. So really, you just need to not be a selfish prick about it. And, you know, this applies to everyone. You know, but only one person warranted this message this time, so kudos to everyone who did not warrant this message, and for the person who did, just be a better person, alright? It's not about you. So I know who's going to win this one. The prediction will come down to if I can try to guess how they come out on top, you know? So you should have already seen the original episode because, you know, like, first, this reaction is really late, but also I told you to check out the link in the description below first, right? So winner revealed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom beats Lex Luthor in this episode, or so I've been told. And so we'll have to try to figure out, based upon the analyses of the two characters, why Dr. Doom will win. So with that said, let's get to watching. So yes, here we go. Dr. Doom versus Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor versus Dr. Doom.
Lex Luthor, CEO of LexCorp and nemesis to Superman.
And I guess I've been saying
Dr.
Luthor.
Doom,
I guess maybe
King
it's
of
Luthor.
Latveria and Doom of the Fantastic Four.
The intellect of these two evildoers is unmatched in their own world.
They are very
But
smart.
what happens when
Yes.
the geniuses of these spiteful nerds collide? He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
That's right. A death battle.
In the
Once
center
again.
of Metropolis, soaring above all other structures, one can find atop the tallest building an L.
Oh.
The dickbag that decided to literally hang that L over everyone's head. Just the one and
That
only
guy.
Lex Luthor.
Born and
Very
raised in
shady.
Smallville, Kansas, Lex's early life was complicated.
Oh?
His father, Lionel, was a scientist doing dubious experiments on Martian
Alias
vampires.
sexy Lex.
When the lid was cracked on this evil science operation, asses had to be covered. So Lex and his old man got a convenient memory wipe, reducing Lionel to an alcoholic and setting Lex down a path to get away from his deadbeat dad.
Oh.
Right there with you, bud.
But because this is comics, that's just Lex's story in one continuity.
Of course,
In
yeah.
another, he's a mad scientist. In another, he's a self-made billionaire. And in yet another, he was friends with Superboy until Superboy made him bald. No wonder this guy's so cynical.
Regardless of which Lex we're talking about, he hates Superman. In his eyes, if Superman continues to exist, humanity will become weak and reliant on him, and ultimately perish. Supposedly.
Ever since Soups flew into town, he's been Lex's undoing.
But also his driving force in creating technology. Chief among them being his war suit.
This
Ah.
bad boy comes equipped with loads of goodies. A force field, electroblasts, missiles, a chest laser, and wrist blades for all your Batman shanking needs.
Of course, yeah.
Lex has utilized
Everyone has
many
those
different
needs
energy
now and
sources
then.
for his suits, but his newest and greatest is the Mother Box. a nigh inexhaustible piece of new god technology with which Lex can create energy beams, repair his suit, and teleport via quantum folding.
Oh, cool.
The suit can survive a planet exploding and lets old Lex go toe-to-toe with Superman himself.
Well, it is questionable if his suit is directly comparable to Superman going all out, especially with his reliance on kryptonite. But Lex has used it to fight with other DC powerhouses.
Like this orange Bugman Larfleeze, who's basically a one-man Lantern Corps. You know, that band of green boot stompers who can cross the universe in under an hour.
Knowing DC has a universe at least 100 trillion light years across, this would require a speed over 5 quintillion times the speed of light.
It's very fast.
How about the time Green Lantern Kyle Rayner held back the Big Frickin' Bang?
Much of Lex's tech is relegated to the war suit, but he does have on-hand gadgets too, such as a heat ray, robot replicas called Lexbots, and a special barrier that temporarily turns anything it touches two-dimensional.
It turns you 2D, huh? That sounds like a weeb's wet dream. How does that work?
It's rather simple, actually. By applying higher dimensional physics to a simple 2D grid, we can replicate and place the form of a 3-dimensional object into a lower, flattened form that...
Make it stop! Make it stop! Wow, I knew the old squirrel diet was a good idea.
You were already 2D.
He's not all two-dimensional. Sure, he's had his squabbles with Superman, but after Supes died, not when he punched the gray guy when he blew up this punk Denny, he gained a newfound respect for the Man of Steel and took up his mantle. Maybe he isn't the bald psycho everyone thinks he is.
Doubtful. Lex's actions, good and bad, tend to stem from one thing. He really wants to be Superman himself.
He does. It would explain why he made the Everyman Project, an experiment meant to turn normies into superhumans.
I see.
Unfortunately, Lex's genes were not compatible. He still went through the procedure, but even after some voluntary organ harvesting, he only had 6 months to live.
Dang.
Wow, Lex really does want to be Superman, even if it kills him.
But if Lex can't be Superman, he might as well make himself the one person that super citizen has to answer to. Which is why Lex decided to, what else, run for president.
Of course.
Can you imagine a president who's an evil billionaire and hates aliens?
Yeah.
So unrealistic.
Lex was already a nihilist with
him.
few real attachments, and became all the worse when he learned he could neither be nor control Superman. Take, for example, the time he made a cure for his sister's terminal illness.
Well
that
done.
Doesn't seem so bad.
And then reinfected her with that same illness seconds later, just to prove he could.
Jesus Christ. Never mind, he's evil.
Why?
Why would anyone work for this guy?
Lex's outlook on life actually gained a big following. After traveling millions of years into the future, because comics, Lex saw a world where his goals became reality. Where people quit aspiring to the impossible standards of superheroes, instead embracing who they were deep down. Selfish and greedy animals.
Oh no.
He literally inspired a philosophy around being the opposite of Superman.
Yeah.
Apparently. Isn't it ironic, though, that even those who chose to follow Lex's ideals called this philosophy doom?
Huh.
Oh.
I guess Lutheran was already taken. Anyway,
That's
fanboys from the future might consider it their doom, but to Lex, his ideals are everything. And to his credit, they have seen him through some pretty heavy stuff.
Like outsmarting Brainiac, getting tortured by Joker,
and getting shot out of a helicopter by a gorilla. Don't worry.
Impressive.
Somehow he got better.
completely stripped of everything, standing before an almighty god. Lex Luthor will continue to defend his ideals. This harbinger of doom is truly beyond comprehension. Or so he says.
Who is it, Superman? Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our time.
Cool. Thank you. What a clip to go out on.
At first glance, Latveria appears to be a humble nation located in the center of Europe.
Right.
But within its borders may be the greatest threat the world has ever known.
Oh no.
That threat being the malevolent king, Dr. Doom.
But Doom did not start out as a king. Born as a Romani, Victor Von Doom had a tumultuous childhood.
Okay.
After his mother's soul was taken by the demon Mephisto,
Oh.
and his father died on the run from an evil bear.
I don't remember that.
Doom did what any mad scientist would do, and began making inventions.
Like his own robot replicas and Marvel's favorite retcon device, the Doombots. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, a little
The
bit.
technical wonders he made, while also scamming people, were so great the Empire State University offered him a scholarship.
And so began a good old college try by Doom.
There,
I mean, I'm
Doom
not surprised
built
he'd get a
device to
scholarship if he made
communicate with his
replicas of
brother
people.
in the underworld. But
Oh,
because of
I
a
kinda missed some of that.
miscalculation that may or may not be thanks to the thing, it blew up in his face.
Oh
Literally.
no!
It's okay though. After the explosion
That doesn't
gave him
look
a
that
nasty
bad.
scar, Doom ventured to Tibet, where some monks did him a solid and helped him build a suit of armor.
Made from a mastery of science and mysticism.
Why would he do
Doom's
that?
titanium armor goes beyond the wonders of ordinary technology and into the absurd.
It's the Swiss Army knife of power armors, complete with electrical blast, a device that scrambles brain neurons, and a laser staff that doubles as a technovirus.
At full power, the suit can break through an adamantine coffin, and allegedly contains pieces of the cross that Jesus Christ himself was crucified on.
Oh,
Just in case
Okay.
a pesky Dracula
Yeah.
comes your way. Which he did. With this suit, Doom easily
So in this
conquered
continuity,
Latveria
he doesn't have
and
powers
overthrew
himself,
the
it's all the
Baron
suit?
who gave him so much trouble years back.
Huh.
Aha, take that, asshole!
Seeing how prosperous his rule was, Doom thought if he could make Latveria better by conquering it, why not make the whole world better by conquering
there
it?
you go.
Well, I mean, a Panther God did say he should. Too bad he was
Oh,
always stopped
Panther
by the
God.
Fantastic Four.
And their leader, Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic.
To put it lightly, Doom frickin' hates him. One time, when Doom was being pulled into hell, rather than try to escape eternal torment, all he wanted to do was burn and scar Reed's face.
To Doom,
Oh.
Reed Richards is a man of unquenchable vanity and unmitigated arrogance, consumed by his own ego at the cost of everyone around him.
Yeah, I think Doom might be projecting a bit there.
Maybe.
Though he has failed many times to conquer the world, Doom certainly has the arsenal to do so.
Antimatter guns, bombs that transmute things to chrome, a molecular expander that turns tiny particles into boulders,
Okay.
and time shift bombs that'll send you several seconds into the past.
But his most interesting
Weird.
gadget is the Cosmic Power Siphon. While not particularly fashionable, at least before he implemented it into his suit, the siphon has absorbed and stolen the powers of numerous cosmic entities.
You
Okay.
might be asking, if Doom has all these gadgets, why doesn't he use them more often? Well, in his own words, Doom's reasons are his own. Do not question them.
Okay.
But Doom is more than just a scientist. He's also a magician. In fact, a contender for Sorcerer Supreme. As such, he can employ all manner of magic spells,
Ah.
barriers, teleportation, mystical energy blasts, etc.
And if he ever wants to Freaky Friday a foe, he can use a mind swap technique he took from the Ovoids to switch bodies.
Like this.
Oh,
no.
How do you walk with these scrawny legs? This one isn't even a gun.
Why are there 6 of you?
Oh
Am
no.
I drunk? Dummy! Change us back.
Wiz doesn't know how to hold it.
Surprised that a multi-classing nerd like Doom has taken on some of Marvel's toughest heroes.
He's faster than Reed Richards, who reacted to interstellar beams fired by Galactus, and has even deflected Thor's hammer.
The same hammer that flew Thor across the universe in seconds.
Knowing Marvel's universe has a diameter of at least 1 trillion light years, Mjolnir must have been moving over 2 quintillion times the speed of light.
Okay.
And that's not even getting into Doom's battles with the Green Universe Clapper, the Hulk.
Or the no-holds-barred punch he took from Sentry with only 7% of his suit's power left.
With so much tech and magic, it's a wonder Doom ever loses.
Well, for all his achievements, Doom does have one insurmountable weakness.
Yeah?
Squirrels.
No!
I knew it! Nobody's a match for those little bastards but me. But hey, as long as he stays on Bucktooth's good side, he should be alright.
He also has a bad habit of just losing
interesting.
godlike power at the worst of times.
No!
Like when his control over the power cosmic was taken by a plot-convenient cosmic energy-stealing super airplane.
Because of course.
Still, Doom persevered and became the god emperor of everything.
Well.
Until Mr. Fantastic stole his powers away.
Oh boy, if Doom already hated Reed, what did he think of him after that?
Surprisingly, Doom's time as a god caused an epiphany of sorts. He looked back on his actions, his ego finally shattered, and in his reflection was left with a desire to fix his ways.
So he took up the role of Iron Man of all people.
What?
Stopped
Really?
being so world-conquery and became a good guy.
Just for a little bit. Don't worry, he was back to being a maniacal would-be conqueror soon enough.
Okay. I mean, I guess if he can.
Comic book status
He's
quo.
very flip floppy.
Seems a literal multiverse-scale intervention couldn't keep Doom from being Doom.
Your plan to destroy them has failed, Master.
Failed. Dr. Doom does not fail.
Well, alright then. There was Dr. Doom.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle! And. pause. Okay, so again, we know through spoilers that Doctor Doom wins this one. So the question is, how exactly? Like, let me be clear real quick. I don't think this outcome is obvious. I thought that Lex Luthor was very surprising in his capabilities. Like, in terms mostly, I think of, like, his speed, but then also his power, because I didn't know that he actually, like, seemed to fight toe-to-toe with Superman, or even if we're going to say that it was because of the kryptonite within his suit, that he still seemed to fight toe-to-toe with other super powerful beings of the DC universe, you know? And there are plenty of those around in the DC universe, so yeah. But, like, let's just try to compare some things. So, in terms of speed, I thought that Lex had this, if I'm remembering the numbers correctly, because I'm remembering like 5 quintillion times the speed of light from Luthor, and like 2 quintillion times the speed of light from Doom. However, something that I don't know about, because the 2 quintillion was from Mjolnir, and I was curious about like Galactus fired a beam that Reed was able to like intercept and block in time, and it was from like, it was an interstellar beam, right? So that means it cross star systems, right? So do I know exactly what that means? No. Like, is the Mjolnir thing faster? Maybe so, but they did not give numbers for that feat, is all I'm saying. And they said that Doom is faster than Reed, and so we don't know how much faster, or I don't know how much faster, but it's at least faster than that feat was, you know, at least faster than he needed to be for that feat. There we go. Something that Doom has over Luthor, I know, is versatility, where he also has a suit, because apparently in this one they're not giving him powers directly, like that's how I know him, because I really only know Doom from like the first, not the first Fantastic Four movie actually, I think it was the second one, but you know, like with oh my gosh, Chris Evans, that's the only Fantastic Four movie that I know, or like continuity period. But apparently it comes from his suit in this one. But his suit is much more like ingrained on his being, it seems, you know, like kind of welded to himself. Whereas Lex's is just a suit, right? But on top of that, Doctor Doom also has magic. Apparently he is powerful enough in magic to be like in the running for Sorcerer Supreme, which is like what Doctor Strange was. So that's pretty darn powerful in terms of magic. We don't know how much of Lex Luthor's capabilities were because of kryptonite. Again, he did fight other powerhouses, but I don't think that they lived up to the same standard as Superman himself, you know? One thing that I thought was that, like, Lex Luthor has the cube, like the god power cube, right? That has, like, all this energy and whatnot. And Doctor Doom has this device that siphons cosmic energy. And so if he could take that energy, like, along with, like, he could potentially also take the Luthor's, like, his armor's energy, couldn't he? Could he not? Is there a reason he couldn't? I don't know. They counter each other out, it seems, with, like, their replication bots, right? They seem to counter each other out in terms of teleportation abilities. They can both seem to teleport. Well, I guess Doctor Doom, actually, he can teleport whenever because he has magic. Whereas Luthor relies on teleporting through his suit. Luthor has, like, the two-dimensional thing, but I don't really know what that'll do or whatnot, because I feel like even if he did that, Luthor or Doctor Doom could just get out of it with magic, because he has like his, if it's anything like in the movies, they can go to like the magical plane, right, where he's in control of stuff. So the movies being the Doctor Strange movies in this case, it's just like Luthor is really impressive to me in terms of what he can actually do. I don't know who's like smarter, you know? But I think that Doctor Doom has more advantages, and the things where they kind of seem to tie, Doctor Doom has more innately, whereas Lex relies on his suit specifically. And beyond that, even if they were both stripped of suits, Doom has the advantage with the magic, you know? So even if we're not saying that like Doom's suit is more ingrained, which it seems to be, that he does seem to have the advantage, but it doesn't seem like an obvious outcome to me. It seems like Lex is really close, but it just seems like Doom is more capable. In terms of like a finishing blow, I don't actually know. Like, if you get past the suits, aside from the magic on Doom's part, they are just regular guys. So, like, I mean, you could just do anything to kill him, right? Like, you got your blades for stabbing, you know, Batman or whomever you want to stab. You have like your little fist claws that Doom showed at one point. You could do a bunch of stuff. So Who knows? But anyway, Dr. Doom's gonna win this one, so play.
Oh, a visitor?
Mr. Luthor, your company has invaluable resources for the people of Latveria. I will be seizing them.
Latveria? What an exquisite place to start a corporatocracy.
No!
You wretch!
Pathetic.
Like, Lex has got to get in his suit if he wants any chance. Is that his suit? No. That's his suit. Okay, cool.
A mechanical replica.
It's called a Lex bot, you knuckle-dragging buffoon.
Its design is rather ingenious. Not as ingenious as mine, of course.
Of course, of course.
Let us end these charades.
With pleasure.
I don't even know what Doom has right there. Whatever it is, I missed it.
What is this confounded contraption?
Two-dimensional morphographic technology.
Of course.
I haven't perfected it, but it's more than enough to exterminate an imbecile like you.
So he could just reach out while he's trapped in that?
Enough to exterminate an imbecile like you.
What? Fool! You fell for my time shift bomb! Now, foot dive!
Foot dive! I hope that's what he said. There's a particle beginner, right?
What a farce!
The banter in this one.
Impossible!
Impossible? That word has no meaning for someone like me. What about you?
Ow!
That box. It's marvelous. And wasted on your incompetence.
Did you siphon it? I thought he'd have to pull out his thing.
Pitiful. What kind of a man are you?
A Superman.
Oh, right. I forgot he did do genetic testing on himself. But I guess given like the time limit, how they said it didn't really work, I was just discounting it.
Behind this hideous mask, Tin Man. Let's show your true face the light of day.
Oh.
You see it? That mask is my true face.
He just Ginyu'd himself. That was pretty brutal.
It's like that of the gods. Beneath me.
Well done. Well
I've
done.
heard of handing someone the L, but never pinning him to it.
Having a slight speed advantage and a stronger suit by most measures, Lex was able to hold his own with Doom for a time.
So he
And
did have
sure,
speed
Lex
advantage, cool.
could counter some of Doom's arsenal, but he couldn't defend against being transmuted to chrome, being blasted with antimatter, or getting his nerves scrambled from the inside.
What's more, Lex's mind has been swapped before, once with Superman,
Oh.
fair enough.
Meaning if things got desperate, there was nothing to stop Doom from pulling a Captain Ginyu on Lex and swapping them
Ginyu,
out.
they did.
Lex's mother box was certainly a powerful device, but he never quite mastered all of its potential. Not to mention, Doom's ace in the hole, the cosmic power siphon, has drained and stolen similar energy sources time and time again.
Galactus, Silver Surfer, and even the friggin' Beyonder. Yeah, I
The
know
Beyonder.
this mulleted doofus doesn't look like much, but he apparently has millions of times the power of the entire Marvel multiverse. And the
Sure.
siphon took all of it. There's no way the Mother Bugs could stand up to a device like that.
Thus, it was only a question of if Doom could bide his time before turning the tables on Lex.
And given all the beatdowns he's survived from Marvel heavy hitters like Hulk and Sentry, I'd say Doom had that time.
Lex's tech was an impressive challenge that had the stats to contend with Doom. But against Doom's bewildering gadgets, magical trickery, and power-stealing siphon, the advantage was in the Doctor's court.
The King of Latveria
Nice.
claimed his victory. Hopefully Lex isn't a sore Luthor.
The winner is Dr.
Claps for
Doom.
Dr. Doom. Cool.
Thanks for watching this episode of Death
You're
Battle.
welcome.
Come back next week to see previews of our upcoming matchups. If you want to watch more stuff, you can click the boxes right around here.
There are no
and
boxes.
You can always pick up some DB merch at store.roosterteeth.com.
All right, next time on Death Battle, we have Heihachi versus Geese. Like, are we talking one or a whole flock of them? All right, so let's talk about this Death Battle. So I was right, but like, you know, like first it was spoiled, but also I don't think that I understood to the fullest extent why Doom would win. I do think that picking up on the energy siphon was a big deal. I am glad that I was right about Luthor having the speed advantage. And I wasn't really sure where I stood on whose suit was like physically more powerful. Because, you know, it was hard to say with Luthor because of the kryptonite against Superman, like that would weaken Superman, so hard to gauge with that. And while he did go up against other powerhouses, I don't know how they really compared. So I wasn't sure on that front. But I didn't talk at all about the mind switching. I didn't talk about the like time grenade because I didn't think it would really like be the thing that made him win. It did cross my mind actually around the time I was talking about like the 2D thing. And so did the particle embiggener, but I didn't think that either of those would be like the key to victory, you know? But I did not think about the mind swap. I wasn't really sure, like, when we first learned about it in the, you know, Dr. Doom's analysis, I wasn't sure how he would really actually use that, unless we were going to say that Luthor was more powerful than him, and then, so he would switch to get the advantage. And so I was like, no, because I think Dr. Doom's more powerful, so he wouldn't do that. But this was a clever way to use the mind swap, like an obvious clever way too, like that much, yeah, that much was obvious, to use that to his advantage to actually like secure that victory. I still don't think that this death battle was obvious though, as far as some people might claim. Like, they did seem to be a pretty good match for each other. Like, yeah, in the end, I do think still that Doom had, you know, more advantages than Luthor did. But, I thought it seemed pretty close to me. You know, maybe Death Battle made it seem closer than it actually is, because they definitely do that from time to time. But it didn't seem like a landslide at the very least. I enjoyed this fight quite a bit, actually. I thought that the very beginning was a little bit weird because we had Dr. Doom come in his, like, you know, sprite animation, whereas Luthor, for, like, the first 2 times you see him, was not in sprite animation because it was, like, closer up on his face. It's more just like a cartoon, you know? But then they switched to both big pixel, so that was fine, you know? It was just weird having, like, one be purely sprite and the other not, like, explicitly not be sprite-based. But then once the fight actually started, you know, they were both on the same field in that regard, so that was cool. And just the banter was amusing between the two. This fight didn't take itself too seriously, which I appreciate. You know, like, seriously enough that it wasn't making fun of the characters, I didn't think, but it was amusing. Yeah, just like the taunts they would constantly exchange, like, both of them were, like, smirking the entire time, you know, like, you could hear it in their voices. And it was just the typical, like, I'm a super villain and I'm super smart and I'm gonna toast you, you know? It was funny. And like the leg dive or whatever, the fact that they put that in more than once, especially with like the last one being cut off as Luthor then attacks Dr. Doom, you know, you knew it was intentional at that point, and it made me chuckle. So I appreciated that. And as far as the animation itself is concerned, or how the fight evolved, like, it seemed to be a natural progression to the fight. As far as like when powers were revealed, when devices were, you know, like noticed or utilized or whatever, right? So I liked this death battle. Please let me know what you thought about this death battle in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. And next time we'll be watching Heihachi versus Geese. I don't even know what they're from. I don't. So that'll be a thing. But yes, with that, we're calling it here. So have a good one, everybody.